No sia abo wadeshimamba ha Adom TV nseme koso ebo maye mu ebre no so se de beso mo Adom TV enwumre no sia kase nseme do so ye pa na so de di mu akotene ya betene bi eni Kane mampanyin abedi achire Dr. Bawumia ani sembia wodi tu dwenne ewo National Delegates Conference na si wo chirem se die eni ada hon mo paga na de hye wose won mo etumi ye hunu se NPP amanyoko ne nema bi o mo ye no nti nam so ma won mo edi ncho no makọ no masua de ye fremu no nti na mo boabo mo ho epese o mai ina da chi papa science ni mo nchire mu ye de beso mo enye no nko adwumadi no ase no mrahye bedwafie domkoma no mo eba no dani Alexander Fenyomaken enso so de to amanyoko ne chitai fo mpanyufo nyina enim se mo di ncho a enye no ano no mo ko mo hye mo ho nkran esan senida so ewo ho ede ma won mo sansemi ya fofo no bi ye ka ho and then you may some Adom TV no see Facebook /Adom TV extra DSTV Go TV ko no more is me check more live e wo channel so www.adomonline.com ko honom en sempe ya fofo no bi ka ho ya twere go podcast enso so wo honom abenya biati medin edwakatechi ejis kapa yen twa ho ne mbra ya ba en sem se disi fetie no meshase Affirmation some no wasi emfa man wodi ye shase de finkramantam ni mu na ene na NPP amanyoko no won mu ede won mu National Delegates Conference 2025 as a share so e wo Legon Sports Complex na Jumedina se mpanyefo ni nyina chitaifo nyina ede o mani ye chire mu hono mo hye ehwe se bibia na betumi adeda na akwa mu sasan so na kane mampanyina be de chire Dr. Bawumia so kopie mu asie bi wodi tomanyoko no mpanyefo chitaifo nyina enem se de si ya no nti na mo so ma afimpenu aduno ne abato no amanyoko no edi ncho ne wo sempanyefo timbo momodin a no mama Ghana de hye hunu se bono makosua de afim.
We must remain resolute and consistent in doing the right things again and in applying the lessons the next time. We must ensure that Ghanaians genuinely see the lessons we have learned and are willing to apply the next time round. We shouldn't be shy about them. It is then that our fellow countrymen and women will give us another opportunity to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, an army that wants to win a battle must exercise discipline within its ranks. Too often, when we are yet to choose leaders, indiscipline, unacceptable language, and unpardonable behavior become the order of the day. In the end, when internal competitions are over, the attacks we would have launched on ourselves become fodder and ammunition which our opponents use to attack us. We experienced it in the 2024 campaign, and we should not let it happen again a second time. This is why I call on all Kukrudikes to stop internal attacks now. Let's stop the internal attacks now.
Tino abra Dr. Bawumia wodi se foto nsemi mamanyoko na chitaifo na mpanyufo nyina wie no sanso kasaye edefa ye Chief Justice ya Ghana mampanyina na asaban no pese ni dibere woji e defene nsem no ho nya no ko na no abato ye no so ko so wa Blakuma North mentimi ho asema no so wase no so okasaye ditiai.
Let us rather focus on the attempt by the NDC to undermine our democracy and rule of law in trying to remove the Chief Justice. Let us focus on their clear intention to go after the Electoral Commissioner subsequently. Let us focus on the violence and thuggery their hoodlums carried out in the recent Blakuma election, in full view of the police and cameras. I again call on His Excellency the President to bring the perpetrators to book and to remind them that the elephant never forgets. No matter how long it takes, we will prosecute the perpetrators when we assume office in 2029, inshallah.
Interbra Dr. Baumia Kasa Evia no AM Rashibija Fiedom, Command Bano, Denny Yon Kuria, AM Rashibija, which Emma Wana away foot to Alexander Fenomaken, or necessary Kojina CMPS where the time you couldn't tie from Pennyphone name, says I think Pinwa, you know, when I am and you couldn't in Kunima, Nasomudin Cho, a Wabatoni, when you find that, say no able one more, was said no show more cry, no more a come home, Miss Ansa, no penny bit to me, Abua, I'm a Fimpin, where you know what Chabatono, one mamma you couldn't in Kuni.
Our 2024 laws expose our cracks, internal rifts, faltering resolve, and a message that didn't connect. Yet this defeat is not our end. It is our crucible, fortifying us for the battles ahead. You must channel this moment of disillusionment into a movement of renewal, turning pain into purpose. It is time to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. Yes, we lost 2024 elections in a big way, but let us be clear, this was not a defeat born out of failure. It was a perfect storm of adversity no government in the Fourth Republic has ever had. From the banking crisis that threatened to collapse our financial system, which we spent billions fixing, restoring confidence and stability, to the global COVID-19 pandemic that brought the world to its knees. Then came the Russia-Ukraine war, unleashing the harshest cost of living crisis in generation. And through it all, we governed with a hanged parliament and an opposition speaker. No government in our democratic history faced this scale of compounded crisis. Yet, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in the driving seat, we held the line. We do not downplay the struggle the Ghanaian people had to endure, but we should commend them because it was a sacrifices day, including the bondholders made, which led to the big economic recovery we started witnessing from early 2024. We endured, the people endured, and still we delivered. That was leadership, tested best in major crisis. We should not be shy of the mighty gains we made under very difficult circumstances under Nana Akufo-Addo. We fixed the crisis and handed over an economy with stronger GDP growth than what we inherited in 2017. We built historic levels of gold and foreign exchange reserves the current administration is now relying on to prop up the city and support the economy. We created jobs. We built more roads than any government in 8 years span and implemented free SHS, a globally unprecedented feat in a country where most students are boarders. From 1D, 1F and industrial parks to an emerging automotive sector that positions Ghana as a manufacturing hub of Africa's single market. We expanded health infrastructure, revitalized agriculture, and rolled out STEM so boldly. The STEM education agenda, we successfully rolled it out to equip our youth with skills for the jobs of tomorrow. Thanks to Matthew Opoku Prempeh and Dr. Educhum. We set Ghana on irreversible digitalization path, placing our nation at the forefront of promising digital economy and after. Fellow patriots, rather than feeling sorry for ourselves, let us face the truth. We took the hard, necessary decisions to save this economy. And now, Mohammed's government is taking propaganda credit, reaping where it has not sown when they talk about resetting, where it is the so-called 24-hour economy, the gold board or anything else. They are simply rebranding our achievements and marketing them as their own. Let no one be deceived. The foundation they are standing on was laid by this party, by our sacrifices, by our bold leadership in the face of crisis. So no, this party has no reason to hang its head at all. In closing, I want to reiterate our theme, rebuilding together with our values. It is a charge. It is a call to realign, to renew and to rise together. And we rise again in unity.
my end to answer no so the answer ye hono mo an yegusua yigina abrafa nyoma ka wode ne nsema tu dwa ewie ye na o si free simpie no so no eye Kane chief of staff from our say opare on so kogina Kane mampanyini na nado danko akofo ado na em wedding sembia tu dwa wo kire mu ese so my Ghana be hono mpuntu abre bia na no kwawe bra NPP amanyuko no ewo aban mu ntem ho hia samanyuko ne titaifo mpanyifo nyina betima baako isan so my Ghana eni do so.
We have, through it all, demonstrated the resilience of our rank and file against challenges and shown without doubt, as our records have proven, that it is always only under the new patriotic government that Ghana thrives. Today, we gather here at conference as representatives of the teeming mass of party faithfuls across the country to undertake a very important constitutional endeavor. As delegates, it is important to remind ourselves that this crucial representative function for and on behalf of our people transcends being physically present here. Wherever we are from, though we convene here at the University of Ghana, this esteemed institution of learning and history, the acquired sentiments of despair and doubt of the people we are representing today, we most importantly carry their sentiments and expectation and hope. Hope that the key steps we will undertake here will in whole or in part be a formidable effort towards restructuring, rebuilding, and reclaiming the reins of governance of our dear country. And that whilst the path will not always be easy, we will remain deeply proud of the progress made at every step, the lives we touched, and the hope we inspired. Whilst our present situation has been necessitated by circumstances we cannot ignore, I am optimistic through dialogue, mutual understanding, strong commitment to our principles and values, we can rebuild the bridges and restore the unity that has always been our strength. Fellow delegates, conference must reflect what we want all to know, that ours is not just a political party, it is a family. And as is typical of every family, we must find ways to reconcile differences and ensure that every member has a place at the table and is up and ready to be counted. We must unleash inherent energy amongst our youth with enough focus on adequate use of our structures like the recently inaugurated Patriotic Institute to empower them and offer them the opportunities to grow. They are no more the future, they are the present. Their energy, innovation, and resilience must be the driving forces behind our progress on this rebuilding journey. Our efforts must be all-inclusive. That is why structures or laws crafted in a bygone era, which notably do not reflect the realities and aspirations of our contemporary existence, must be opened up and critically examined to follow for proper reforms. Severally, I have stated, and today will be no exception, that we must continue to stand firm and united behind the eternally forthright ideals and principles of the Dankwa Dombo Buzia political tradition, which has proven the most suited political tradition on our Ghanaian market.
Mekana Majadi Justin from Ponkodia, your onoe church for Mamma, your cool no PMB, on so then Samba, whom you know be to your name monotia, or Boya Bato Commission, which you were run here, or some Swedish shares, will be a moment to obey him, Shibi Jenny, a war Ablicoma Northern Person was a sinner who shed in here. Now the East in the age, and I will see you know, and Mamma Yoko NPP, one who injury woman.
Not long ago, the National Executive Committee of the party, they satisfied with the decision by the Electoral Commission to do a rerun in some 19 polling stations in Ablekuma North, decided to boycott the whole election process. And as the party took their decision, it was done for good reasons. Because National Executive Committee, upon all the informations, the evidence that was adduced at NEC, came to the firm conclusion that indeed the MPP had won the elections at Ablekuma North. We had all our scam copies of our pin sheets in the 281 polling stations, which gave us a clear winning of 414 votes. And therefore, we were surprised that the Electoral Commission decided to call for a rerun. On principle, we felt that it was a wrong decision and it's a bad precedent being set by the Electoral Commission. And this is very dangerous for our future politics and future elections. Ladies and gentlemen of Congress, one area that the party is very, very, very serious about is discipline in our party. Let us all understand that today we are national officers of the party, we are members of parliament, we are members of council of elders, but people have occupied these positions before. And therefore, those who have intentions of aspiring to lead the party, be it as flag bearer, be it as national officers, we must understand that our individual interests cannot override the supreme interest of the New Patriotic Party. And therefore, any person who has any intention to lead our party must respect the structures of our party and must respect authority of the New Patriotic Party. I call on you, conference, that the party has clearly given directives, and until we officially
Inter Brajin Media no one way and Adom Cassie, Bupini, a Canema, Shibidwani, Katie Amon, Yanon wedding como, no dear, Nije Pai, is saying, I'm you couldn't penny for Yanano, one or more upness, so Secanema, Shibija 4, and Mamma, you couldn't Banasama, you couldn't see it, and a baby to a babyana, or Munio Mono Memodomo, a Shemubi.
Yes, yeah, Antina make some of you get away. Yeah, Vice President, Yanko Pada Urma, Obedia Mame, no idea my Yagina, and I say on your MPB. Share bra wabon MPP mu na wonye MPB na say yes say mrebi ba say sa obi say wono menua oni mampon bio na me say me ni asokwai na ye dwene MPP ko hu enti ye penfo ne bi ya omo be ka bie say ye to abo omo matu bi na won say sa papa we say be ye me ka ho a na bane be na ye Intimate many problem wa ho kra me fi say omo nya de se ekoyi nipa na omo ho no aye delegate dada ye omo da bi omo ho but ye say nipa no ebi meka wo omo ho kre say ye wa yi no constitution e bi say general secretaries vice president the group aye council of elders groups no ya yi church e bi ho a constant patrons ne ado omo no tambia ye to aba ednam role omo play Mata dance as a mfie aduonu 9. Medi minister wa MPP mu udi nyina ka ho mfie edu. Na say eba say ye be ye structure we say ni party sa no. Ye fo mu kan no omo nkire wo omo adwene wo ho a. Na ne matra parliament mfie aduonu na me kire ma adwene wo ho. Me am party minister abal jo okay say oni ho on represent the constituency no. But still say there was tie na adwene odi ye ne bra wa board wo Ghana ha say the minister mfie edu. Na say omagbo party no for na adwene ayebone. Papa hwe danim ogina hoi na say okay ma wonim die nyina and say she was a chairman sabonsu na say former leader the hwe mfie aduonu nwotwe hwe obi secretary Japan or flag bearer, Yana Atenka, Sanka one per flag bearer. Now, what we say, if you're a Dune 9, can as well if you're Dune 9 MP. Nasne, Obiadim, the Dio Chroma say, na ye MPPB, Yasaka Yapon, only parliament, beauty, money maybe. Who are Michelin? In Januna or Mompet for the agri one said no. Former Aina, no almost that could not know more body, but me Abiano, woman will be assigning per me and 2 or more. Yafu Mombre. Yes, a papier, Antina make some of your Granaway. Yeah, Vice President Yanko Padauruma, Obedia Mame, no idea my Yagina, and I say on your MPB.
Intabra Katie Hammond ne semni nyina baby ye no ye ne Matthew Poku Prempe na po eso wedding komo wuchiri mo se amanyoko bia na se betumi afa ne tuma pefra na tumi agina ne naso abra na ko ne modi ehia se ebre ne bra no betumi ahia se abusua ba ko na mama akontabu ayedwuma.
Between 1957 and 2000, MPP Ama Pawada, who you 2.5 years abusi abai BDA. What is that? And so party BND Kanaha at Chetty MPP. If you don't show that you need no cough from if the Akaka be an interior day, a cough from MPP and we are some less never saba. Him say, so can I Bible the book of Jeremiah. When you were clothed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Don't be afraid to speak. Stand before kings and terrify them, because I've touched your mouth. I've appointed you and I've set you apart. And after 70 years, I'll bring my people out of Babylon. MPP, we are not in a short run. We're a party that will endure. MPP is a party that would endure. So was he ever a prime minister or a president? Dombo, was he ever a prime minister or a president? Victor Osu, was he ever a prime minister or a president? William Oforiatta, was he ever a prime minister or a president? But the party survived. If you don't understand the word democracy, you will begin to think that you should be in power for perpetuity, in perpetuity. No. Democracy and just now memoir. I was saying to Abia, who see free about what's the issue? Jane, who said, dear, I'm here, Anye, and Kofuampe, Omo Medium Musuno Ampe, and then as I remember, Uncle Hobesenia Rishimu or Mumu, Ghana, Obio, or so your politician or Ghana, and say, and people pet in the bit where you Ghana free in Kwasum. You know, I have press conference, Bako Baby and San 9. Yeah, bet you, yeah, bet you, yeah, bet you, and just your whole don't go be. She'll enough for the court. There be Jahway, my core NIB, a core NIB. You know what I say, and no, as our friends have been run national security. NIB, my core, may call national security. Mean to me, because Kabimani Kabi Amamono, there's a day of accountability. But me, per se, before who dear so. I will fry a friend. What's the departure? I said, it is a yes, the Pacono and you said up so good. I buy from Antioda. I buy Biennois, Sabi, Obetas are come to use of about. Oh, yet day, and maybe do obey day, Obako. It could say, yes, look at your car. Or this, I must say how a booby assume the man cheddar. And also just yes, you also booby assume. South America. So what you before who deals with now? And then a month 2 minutes of sun. Oh, yeah, day, on this way, day. We take your far with this. We need collaboration. And that only because I say, hey, me offer, Katie Award. Now, down for Pan and Tia Haruna. That's no opposition. Muntaka, who are Basel, we don't go here now. Bebois, Obia, what I done for. It is somebody a car. And no matter the assembly city, the bit of contention, you offended the Oya, as about became the Enemy, was a Kofuako friend, a funny friend, of course, any Ajobre, young cannibal. Any democracy result in economic growth and economic fortunes. The democracy can get the that's Attorney General.
You know, said the NPP Manjoko no one more and on National Delegates Conference. So, won't come out some name. Then so they back where Koyan 1 was and say, and this Manjoko penny for be one more copy, Honor Kojina Simpia so, and then Simbia to John, which was a city bay, naked Mammy Kebi Bay, Kono, my gun and money. Now, here say NPP Manjoko no bit to meet she a pegua quemo, no more como who are Bumashe who say one more Yamanjoko, your money by Monas, one more thing you bet me a share one more. I think Penwin, you know, in watching about to him.
Ghana cannot fail as a democratic state. We as the political class must leave a legacy for generations yet unborn. We can only do this when we continue to grow our democracy and create a country of opportunity for ourselves, our children, and generations yet unborn. Let us together as political parties and Ghanaians put our resources together in resetting our state institution and create a just country for us all. We hope after your deliberation at this conference, you will come out a stronger opposition party in your reconstruction effort. Unity is key. Ghana needs a stronger opposition party to enhance our democracy. We also hope that after this conference, your party will appreciate the importance of having two surviving former presidents among you and continuously, adequately consult them to help build your party strong. Don't alienate them outside the box. They need you. You need them to be able to bring a strong opposition party. We hope that after this conference, you live here united and not divided. God bless our homeland, Ghana. God bless the reset agenda of John Dramani.
Internafe my young coffee near my hood once a carabia and penny for to me a penny so any Domobogu emotions are one more a year say yeah and no young coffee bimbra.
I will now, for the benefit of conference, read the sunset clause, which is ordinarily referred to as the transitional provisions. And this has been drawn by the Constitution Amendment Committee in line with the existing practice. Whereas the National Council of the party has pursuant to Article 13(1) of the Constitution scheduled January 21, 2026 as the date to elect the party's 2028 presidential candidate. The National Annual Delegates Conference has on this day, the 19th day of July 2025, adopted the proposed amendment to expand the Electoral College for the election of the party's presidential candidate to include all former members of parliament, all former parliamentary candidates, all card-bearing former ministers, all card-bearing former deputy ministers, all former regional executives, all former constituency executives, all former branch executives, all the members of the National Council of Elders, the members of the National Council of Patrons, regional and constituency patrons, regional and constituency elders, and TESCON coordinators. The National Annual Delegates Conference has on this day adopted a proposed amendment to expunge the Special Delegates Electoral College from the Constitution. The term of office holders in the party from polling station
to the national level has not expired. I repeat, has not expired. Accordingly, the prospective members who are to be afforded the right to form part of the structured offices at various levels by elections shall have their rights held in abeyance until upon the expiration of the tenure of the incumbent office holders. Now, therefore, it is proposed that for the avoidance of doubt, the effective dates for the new amendments relating to the additions to the polling station executives, electoral area executive committee, constituency executive committee, regional executive committee, and executive committee shall the January 31, 2026 presidential primaries. However, as adopted by the National Delegates Conference on this fateful day, and given the fact that the dates of the conduct of the presidential primaries have been set by the Constitution in accordance with the dictates of the Constitution, the provisions pursuant to the new amendments on presidential primaries, that is Article 13, particularly the expunging of the Special Electoral College and the expansion of the Electoral College for the presidential primaries to include former executives, former regional executives, former external branch executives, former members of parliament, former parliamentary candidates, former MMDECs, former card-bearing ministers and deputies, TESCON coordinators, party patrons and elders shall take effect immediately. Shall take effect immediately in order to give effect to the decision of the National Council and the National Delegates Conference in respect of the presidential primaries. This policy seeks to bring clarity on the effect of the adoption of these amendments by conference on this day is hereby moved for the consideration of conference. At this stage, distinguished delegates, those in favor and all in favor of this motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. It is my desirable pleasure at this stage to say to conference that our duties as the Constitution Amendment Committee in respect of today's conference has come to a close. Nonetheless, it is instructive to notify all delegates that the preparatory work for the drafting of the new Constitution or amended Constitution pursuant to the adoption of these elaborate constitutional amendments would begin in due course.
Nti mami nyina NPP amanyoko no won more National Delegates Conference nsim yeso yentwa ye ho ne nja bofo nkrato ye ban sama foforo we kira ye de besomo amesanso mo akwa ba bi member Adom TV enyumre no nsiakase so mayento ayensem no so na osrafo ye ohwa memmo nketo ahenie na sma hoden nsem so o Michael emu Ahmed Ibrahim bosisudua se Ghana ban no ye krado so betumi atisika bi ye de ato ho no mo de ama na nanu matena nkonya won mu ko wate won Electoral Council se de be ye ba ahenie ho ma so twe koso ma ye fa na nyina mu no on betumi de asiesie
Oswafo a ono nehwe local government, chieftaincy and religious affairs eso Ahmed Ibrahim kasa abra na soye no ene Institute of Local Government Studies ene Judicial Training Institute eka woni hu bom eye workshop odwumedie no ase no odi tudwa se wo hwe eye mentimo ase a ekoso ewa hini mu a aban no edi nhihye egu akwan mu a wo hwe se wo mu ebeso ano se ne beboa ama asumdue puntu akọ empatem awodom.
Conditions of service at any gender for no we no enyi nti ama obi ba kakra na okọ obi ba kakra na okọ ni nyina kan na ama chieftaincy ahinsen amanso nkonyamanso no bi adults wo nti ye we na yama ye Supreme Court judges no aye training any ISDS ama omo no more building omo capacity na ye nso ye ne aban no so agina ho am make sure say omo how ne sa problems omo dey ba no ye be solve ebi wo ho aye fa omo be 2 years ne 3 years ne ntia omo ka enti sa problems ni nyina aba me tego so aye to anamo a kwa ye be fa so a ye be solve that problems.
Supreme Court Judge, His Lordship Justice Isifo Imoro Tanko Amadu, Aono, and a DNM training a womo a year no, what in Cheche, Emai, FIA, Emra, a womo a debe so a year, Mentimo Asia, Ayana, Etaba, and Hinsemu.
Demonstrate competence and allow your research and your advice and your opinions to impact the society. We must also demonstrate courage, firmness, and resolve. Never allow persons who think they have money and influence be able to influence the
Dom kuma ya umra shibeje fi ashase kunwa defense mbia one more can edifa one district one factory ho na nam so ama ranking member ema jenetukwa wati mra shibeje fi ema ye trade industry and tourism Michael Ochubefi na nsema odi to jo se sabre ni mo no nyumekuo ya no eya ankwankwa nyumekuo de won mo ehye se adwumade na se no nyesem fiti ya pe no mo edi mo mo ehyem na mo no nhye ya mpanyefo de gu akwa mu nya hwese wode won mo befam answer.
Dom Ketuano edi abetu dwa se o hwe eye one district one factory program a womo di go akwanmu ansa na womo kono ekamye ye se sese niema adane ebutu kra ranking member a wo mrashebedwem committee a womo na hwe trade industry ne tourism Michael Ochubefi kasano wodi atudwa se o hwe ankran dwumeku numbi wo ho a womo enya so mfaso pa ye policy no na womo fanhihye mu ansa na womo nya san mfaso no.
The majority leader got it wrong in the first on the floor of parliament by saying that these businesses abused the incentive package given by government. It's not true. There is no evidence to that effect. Note that this is the only policy that was initiated by government, that the government open-handedly, or without any hesitation, decided to make it so available and so accessible for anybody to take part. So government didn't have anything to hide. We didn't have anything to hide. We gave everything out. The package was so clear. We gave 5-year tax holiday to people who wanted to be part of the business. So in Ghana, the corporate tax is 25%. Government decided to grant 5-year exemption to everybody who want to be part of the 1D1F program. Government decided also to give some import tax waivers to people who want to import raw material for production and machinery for production. These are things that are standardized across the world. In the world of business now, you cannot decide to thrive your industrial sector without incentives. Then you can't do well.
Afema yefie ni yenchiremu ewo nsenfofo emu na be America krani asemba kwa social media yeso no obia twene ene abasa eye ibo won mo hene bia wo chiremu ese wabo my Ghana mu no kwakoto asase bia so pan ye ewo ningo prampama wo hwe ne mu so betimi ede yesi na hene ewo hono ne obia afa ne ho anche ne Ghana de hye won meto ma no edigo ne so na so me ne ibo community ye no ewo my Ghana mu ba kasa ho senya bibisa akra na eti ne mom no mo yo ma adwen se sanke bai na kasa no mo se kan ye dia akombe siesie hono na ne ma hodo bia no yo mamamre wo mo de sisi hono no kra betuma cho foforo no efre chichire ne benchie na kwakoye nsarhe bia ede ama wono mo
Ana eze chukwede Jude ede atudwa se anamonto a wotuye ne nananom ahemfu bia womo ningo prampram eyade ananka womo gi asase a womo ede beye Igbo culture ene tourism village bi ai ho ana Igbo nkwada ebetimi akosua ene ma fa womo culture ho na enye se womo ABC kingdom se ne bi mu ede nam no.
Minister Samuel Okojoto Ablakwa. And in my meeting with him, it's all about this problem of land issue and kingdom issue. And I explained to him, sir, there's no single land. And I explained this I just told you. Now he was so surprised. Then he also made me to understand that the conscience of this nation, great country Ghana, is for we all to live in peace. They don't want anything that will cause xenophobia in Ghana. I want to tell everybody around the world, more especially Nigerians that are concerned about these social media fake informations, our people back home and all over the world, we are safe in Ghana.
Chief Emma Ibo, Nehukeni, Nana Equia, enso editudwa se womanfo bi a womonam social media eye abefo kwan so ede niema foforo etudwa etumfuto gu Ghana fo enim no nokra bi enim
mukun nyana kasa no si no hoyen ne krofo no wo chusu de onye kezifo no nzi won enyim ekro bia ekoda na enhu kromfo a woyi nipa kro bezi won enyim na wabo ahon na nyamor kokodo social media mukuna yede ni no onye no kwa
afie ni hwensen foforo emu na ewutu orthopedic basic school eno ewe ewutu senya westments ne finfim atam ne mu ene adekyerefo ena adesuafo won mu nyina atede opai sanse mfe bebre ni anom ne nsio honom no obuafo bia komonstra ben makodomo musio
Manfo a wonum ete ewutu utopia se won dodo ebro apem na wo mu dodo no a eye akuafo nanso emfie bebrenie no na nsupa a obenya nom ewo ekrom honom no eho odene pa ne titiru ene epebre enamsa ho kire isunti no adesuafo akyekyerefo ne temamufo a wonum ewo krom honom de wonum afa ho kire bebre mu na bra bohola watu ama wonum ewutu senya westments ni krache kalala nyameche haga ekwako bia no ama wonum no ene wodi tudwa se mensini na ye krado se wobeboa temamufo am wanya nsupa anom.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful. As our portrait reciter said, water is life. Water is life. Uhwe impedwenu mu nyina eyensuo. Nti yebasre yesku nkwala no mpacho mutie me. Yes, yakwa yembu nsuo no yei. Uwia no watu mu fefefe. Anytime be a problem bebe hu bia no na yakaka che teachers no. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
Emmanuel Pobi ene ye panyini a wati Pobi Foundation. Wachire mu se ebra adesuafo ni akyekyerefo ede won ha kwoto nanimu se wonum enya nsupa enom no eto na koma so eno nti ene ma wo betu se nsuo yi ema wonum.
And I was having a conversation with the chief, and then the chief mentioned particularly that during the dry season, almost struggle when it comes to water. So we took it up on the committee at the foundation, and then you see what the result is. We were able to do it, and today we're unveiling it and giving it to the community.
Nana Kofi Bosompem eyo mankrado ewe wutu utobiase.
Tupiasi manso awo hai misramo. Umma nyina ye bako. Enyina ye ko. Ni yempe mpuntunduma embra oman ne mu. Matu Macau. Mina miye we emaye. Ene papi ba ye. Se enye enanadia.
Nkwa sante mantam no emu na esieni mpon no ewo ejoso municipality na ntia yensa ka echire mu adi akronfo asoridan wono mu abuani abo awure mu fidie ne made waso ne nyina adwaneko.
Asoridan yedina ni mi the Church of Pentecost Makion Assembly no ewo esieni mpon a ewo ejoso mansini mu asante mantem ha na amaneba efiri ha eba chese na ahmachi be se no miensa na akronfo abebu wo mu empoma awurem akọwi asọrọ ni mfidi a omode ye adwuma dodo na dom kase bo anan ba ha ene dicknesses ebige ebe nkomo na wo kire se
anopei ebe 7 ye ba anopa sorry ye ba ye na konfo abebu ye window ba akọ asesa yɛ nneɛma yɛ amp ɛna yɛ microphones ɛna yɛ keyboard ma bɛsesɛ ne nyinaa kɔmabu gate no ɔma wire baako window baako asesa nneɛma bobɔ so nyinaa ɛde kɔ
ɛno akyi ɛna Adom kaseɛ ɛne ɛda ɔbɛnyima no ɔka asɔre mpanyimfo hu bi ɛwɔ ha ɛbɔ nkɔbɔ no wɔkyerɛ sɛ akɔmfo no wu mu deɛ nanso ade ɔmu gye ɔmu yɛ ɔmu speaker papa baako a ɛsɛ hɔ a ɔmo antimi antu ankɔ na ne nyinaa mu wɔkyerɛ sɛ ɛfa security ho nsɛm ɛwɔ nsie no mpɔ no nkwaro deɛ ato apia ɛwɔ sɛ mpanyimfoɔ ɛba mu
ɛyɛ nyame ayɛ Adom kakra ne sɛ yɛmɛhye yɛ ɛbɔ soro ha yi ɛna ɔma amfa ɔmo fa no deɛ anokɔ asɛm ka yɛn so no mu nyinaa bɛte sɛn sɛ wei kora yɛ obi na nyame yɛ n'adom a ɔde bɛkyɛ asɔre no nti ɔmo gya no na ɔmo gya ntwene no nso gu hɔ ma yɛ na afei yɛ nkonya a aka ha nso ɔmo gya no konya no so ɛma yɛ ɔmo ha de ahobanbɔ no ɛnhɛ daa nso ani saa ntɛm hɔ nanka kuro nanka volunteer wɔ kuro yi nanso mmoa kakra sɛ volunteer ni nya no ɔmo nya ɔmo ntumi anya saa mmoa no nti ama volunteer no so ɛnyɛ adwuma bi
enti mpoma wei ɛna akɔmfo yi ebieyɛ ebebu bɛbɛ proof wa ha ebi wura the Church of Pentecost asafo a ɛno ɛwɔ esie ni mpɔn kosese mu nneɛma nyinaa amansa kyia me kwadwo bi mreku ama ne bɔ esie ni mpɔn
amenyina esie ni mpɔn sim yeso na yɛntwa honje abɔfo nkrato yɛ ba nsɛm ne bi aka yɛ rebɛto aso Sanso mwakwa bebi member Adom TV enyumre no siakase so mayento a yensem no weso na founder Emma African Mission Outreach wo de futu Emma Ghana de hye nyina se ba na so mo hu se wo bi HIV AIDS ya de wo manya bia hwe no manya ne mu antwetwe sa wo ne kro na emom no wo mo ntwe ne kro no emben wo no no mo ntwe sa wo ne kro no edo
Founder Aono Eneda African Mission Outreach Ano Ibatu Makuli ene ni team ekoye eye Madali Love Foundation adoye emo toys ene candies ene nema wodo binu wode futu ema Ghana force womo enwese enuanum a womo enya HIV na womo nso a sebe womo atochima no womo mesafo no na nsese womo epamom.
We donated a bunch of toys since I was told that it's an orphanage and have kids that are growing from childhood to all the way to adolescent age. So I got some toys from some foundations there in the United States. And these are brand new toys that come from stores, so I had to fly with them here to give them to the kids. Some of the toys that are very educative, right? Some of them, they help them to increase their IQ. It's not just regular toys to play with, you know. And got them some American candies that I know when I grew up in Africa, I was born in Africa, so I was so excited about, candies from Africa.
Founder of the Madali Love Foundation Orphanage Ano, Reverend John Azuma, Edda Wana Sipa Wanamuntu Awomo Etu Yeno.
Yeah, Mijina Madali Love Anaimu Edda African Mission Outreach for Bebre. Say Oma Kai Madali Love Abeye Aldoye, Omu Yekua. Omubua African countries, Omabua Nigeria, Amabua Cameroon, Abebua Ghana no Omaba Madali Love. Ahwa bebre. So mobile
TGM network and we kwa wati en shaban wase omobota nyina and some of Frank me wo my Ghana emo ne mwa no mo yare no ombetumi apo wono mo ewade bia wono mo emu ntime ne woka say one me found akopi mu ewo Madali Love Foundation a wo mo edisika 10,000 na mo so mo fra wo hwe mo no won fa ema wo mo
Abra TGM network any woman founder Osanoi ede 10,000 Ghana cedis ekoma Madali Love Foundation any omo edidiye ediakro ema nkwadane ni giye no odwumedi no ase no onipa wono enede nsem tudwa ema network no Michael Ado ede tudwa se eka womo network ne botae ho se womo ebema nkwada eni age womo sanso eboa omanfo efa no womo apomuden impuntu ene nema wodo bia eka ho.
And then I just say, yeah, but I am Madali Love Foundation. Na, but I had the buy and say, yeah, no more about be the agro wahano. Mosha, yeah, the presentation be a buy, a check, yeah, the amomo, and no dancheno, and also no, yeah, the Idiane buy, Mosha, yeah, the star bites by the papaya bar, obi seti cocktail bar wahanum, ebimo beggar, yeah, hot dogs, and then as for intino, dear. But eda initially say nia ye wo fie de bia no aye ne say bia waso wo kwa pizza waso wo ko papa ye wo kwa kodi no ye pese nkola no so no omo experience bi na nso no yɛbɛtumi ahyɛ ɔmo nkwan sɛ ebia ebi mpɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ lawyer yɛde yɛn nanfofoɔ bɛka yɛn ho aba hanom wɔn bɛtumi motivate nkɔlaa no ɔbɛ motivate ɔmo nti no ɛnu nti na ɛnɛ no yɛwɔ ha no.
Founder a ɔno ne da Motherly Love Foundation a ɛyɛ orphanage ano Reverend John Azuma enso ɛda wɔn ase paa.
Amenyina sansi mi so kasi amede somya na omenfa ensi ho yo fashion so said the cat fashion home and na CCMA and a world star enso so yi meti ye de ma me medin e de okatechi eje skapa makram.